This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, as we take you through this hour. 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in. 888-825-5225. Now, when John and I get together, obviously we're going to talk about your money questions, your life questions that you have come to know and to love here on The Ramsey Show, but we will both dive into our specialties as well. If you're new to the program or new to one of us, quick summary is I'm helping people figure out what they were born to do. You were created to work. And if you started looking at work as a contribution, where you could make the income you desire and the impact that you desire, what would work look like? All right. So we're talking purpose. And when you're on purpose, by the way, in your work, watch how your life and your relationships get much better. Now, John, describe for folks that might be new to you or to me or to us what you focus on with the Dr. John Deloney Show.
We talk about relationships and mental health and parenting and education and trying to just figure out life.
Yeah.
Anything above and around and to the side, all of it. We're
all
just
life.
trying to figure it out. That's right.
Yeah. So John and I love to team up. If you're in a really toxic situation, feel like you can't spend another day at the office with a coworker or a boss, and this is serious stuff, John, because it affects your livelihood. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not making a paycheck decision lightly. John and I love to team up on those leaders.
We're looking at the data, man.
We're looking at it.
People are struggling, and they're struggling at work, they're struggling at home, struggling in relationships, struggling with their kids back in school.
And a new Harvard Business Review publication did some Harvard research. 9 out of 10 people, John, 9 out of 10 Americans say they would consider making less money to do more meaningful work.
What does that mean philosophically for us?
For us as humans in general? It means that we all want to make a difference, and when you get to the point where you feel like I'm not doing something that I really, really enjoy, and the enjoyment isn't because it's easy or it's smooth. It's because I really love the work itself. I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. You look at the old guys, I always go to this example, who just love tinkering on engines. Mm-hmm. It's a problem for them. It's a new puzzle, you know?
But the narrative I grew up with was the goal of work is to
just take care of yourself.
X amount of dollars.
It's provision.
But it's past provision now. It was about... I think of that old Garfield poster, whoever ends with the most toys wins. Yeah. And that's the narrative. That's the air I breathe.
Yeah, it's gone from provision to stuff.
Yeah.
And what we all know as humans, it's not about anything. It's about significance. We want to make a significant dent in the world. Meaning we're going to go, I just want to make my mark if we're going to really simplify it. And I think when you got people going, I'm working too hard, I'm working too long, crappy environment, I would literally consider making less money to do something that really mattered to me, that I enjoyed.
Or I saw my parents do it, and now they say, I shouldn't have traded that for your child.
Well, there's no question.
Yeah.
So
anyway. Now there's a group of people saying, I'm just going to cash out.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, a group. 90%.
Yeah.
Huh.
So... Now, and again, they didn't say they were going to do it.
Right.
But they're going.
But with the right opportunity.
But to your point, they're at an emotional place to be able to answer that survey that way. They're going, I really would.
Yeah.
And you know what it comes down to? It comes down to at some point, there's enough pain associated with their current lot in life from the work standpoint to where they go, I would adjust. I'd sell my house. You know, I would.
Move to a different state, different town,
I'll cut my costs. I just want to get off of this hamster wheel where I feel like I'm spinning for no reason. Yeah. And you know this, when people want to either get out of debt, they want to find a job they love, they want to lose weight, they want to fix their marriage, they want to fix a crisis in parenting. At some point, the pain gets to a place, as Dave has said many times, where you go, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing in that poll.
Well, it's...
Who wants to be sick and tired for 40 to 50 hours a week?
Well,
I mean, that's what it boils down to.
In the way I've begun to distill it is, we have an opportunity to choose your heart.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to remain 100 pounds overweight and have every part of your body hurt every time you get up, and it's going to be hard to lose that 100 pounds.
Isn't that the truth?
It is. And it's going to be hard to go to a job you hate 60 hours a week and it's going to be hard to adjust your lifestyle down, make a little bit less money, move to a new town of a lower cost of living. It's not a matter of choosing between, this one's going to be simple, and I can be unstructured and not intentional, versus this one. It's a matter of you're going to choose your hard. And I think people are opting out saying, this is hard and it's killing me. That's going to be hard. It's going to give me life. Right. I'm going to take that one.
Yeah, you led into beautifully. I was going to ask you to talk about this because I deal with this every day on the Ken Coleman Show, people calling in. And when I dig into why haven't you done it? You know what you want to do. You're clear. These are for the people who know what they want to do and they actually know how to get there, but fear's holding them back. And I've just found this is the human condition. We just would, in some places, sometimes – rather be miserable than uncomfortable.
Well, and I used to think that was a moral and character thing. You know what I mean? It is a choice. It all comes down to choice.
Yeah.
But man, our neurobiology solves for what we know.
Yes.
It solves for homeostasis. Right. It would rather the devil you know than the one you don't know.
That's exactly right.
And so, yes, that person's abusive, but I know where they're abusive. And yes, this boss treats me like crap, but I can count on it.
Yep.
And it's stepping out into that unknown that our bodies try to solve. Go back to where you know.
So true.
Go back to where you know. And so we just stay put.
And then you do get to a point where you're too miserable. And
unfortunately, usually it's a crisis that pushes you over the edge.
And you speak to this. This is the world you're in. This is you're trained in this. Yeah. The problem is, John, is once we get to the crisis, there's so much other collateral damage.
Yes.
Like even when we go, oh crap, crisis, massive heart attack, or whatever. Pick the category, health, whatever, mental health. We don't want to get to that crisis moment, John, because there's a whole lot of derivative effects and collateral damage.
That's when your kids wear it, and your spouse wears it, and your colleagues wear it, and your neighborhood wears it.
Yeah.
And that's when your mortgage company's calling you and your insurance. I mean, it's when all that stuff happens. And so, it comes down to one simple thing. Choose your hard, and then how far upstream can you get to solve for some of these things?
Yeah. We talk a lot about fear, you and I both. I mean, we deal with people every day that are in fear.
Myself included, right? Oh, I'm not.
Are you kidding
immune
me?
to this? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. By the way, fear and doubt never leave us.
No.
This concept that you can completely remove them is silly.
Yeah.
You can overcome them.
Yeah.
You can power through them, but you will deal with them the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I think fear tells us the truth sometimes, and then fear lies to us a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I where's the delineation for you on that? What's your process?
My process has become other people. What I know is that when I become afraid, my brain responds and it takes part of itself offline, the rational thinking part offline, and it is simply responding to stimuli. And so I have people in my life that I call and say, here's what I'm looking at. And they're an expert in money. They're an expert in life. They're an expert in marriage. And I'll ask, am I seeing this right? And they'll say, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I need to cash out everything and put in Bitcoin. And they'll say, just stand down, homie.
Yeah.
Go for a walk.
It's so good.
And go fishing. But that's my process. I know enough to know that I'm not trustworthy.
Isn't that the truth?
And so I'm going to call somebody.
Yeah, no one's rational when they're afraid. So having that community, that accountability to run stuff off of is great. All right, folks. He is Dr. John Deloney. I am Ken Coleman. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Your call's coming up.
Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless.
Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and it is your show. With John and I here, we pretty much will cover just about anything. You got a question about anything in your life, it's wide open. 888-825-5225. That's the phone number. Somebody out there, John, I just know somebody needs to call. They're kind of going, all right, I've thought about it. I've been listening to this program, and maybe Dave would whack me on the head. But I think John and Ken, I think they're going to be nice to me.
Probably not. We'll give it a shot, though.
Yeah, I think we will.
Potentially.
Yeah, it's great. 888-825-5225 is the number. 888-825-5225. Let's get to the phones. We're going to go north of the border, Ontario, Canada, where Joel joins us. Joel, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call today.
You bet. What's up?
Basically, I think I'm being underpaid at my job, but I'm not sure exactly, and I'm not sure how I would find out. So I was just wondering, how do I find out, and what do I do about it?
Yeah, what's your title, or what is your what would you say your technical position is if you were describing that to somebody who was a recruiter and say, hey, I do this kind of work? What do you do?
I'm a mold designer, like a tool and die industry, like a mold designer.
Oh, nice. So what kind of molds are you creating for what kind of tools?
Mainly for the automotive industry, a lot of car parts.
Okay, great. And how many years have you been doing that?
Just over 3 now.
Okay. So I don't have a spiffy little website to give you to make this super easy, but I don't think this is going to be difficult. But what you're looking at here is you're looking at certainly in Canada, you're going to look for what a range of pay is, and what we call this is just what the market will bear, right? So what's the market for somebody who does your kind of work, and for somebody who's been doing it as long as you? And then I would also throw in there any specific certifications that you have, so again, I'm kind of walking blind into this kind of work. I can barely put the gas in my car. So talking to a guy, John, who does molds for tools every day is a bit over my skis. However, whatever the industry certifications are, whatever kind of training you have that got you where you are, I would include that. What you're doing is a search. We're going, okay, what's the range of income? What do you make right now?
Right now I make $19 an hour.
Okay, so we're going to look at it, and let's just say you do the research, and the range for somebody that does your work, that has your certifications, qualifications, and experience, let's say the range is 22 to 25 an hour. I'm making that up, obviously, because you don't know and I don't know. But if we see that we are below the average, then what we want to do is we want to take that information. Now, this is not opinion anymore. So you've got your research. If it's from a reputable site, a reputable source, and you're going to sit down with your leader and you go, hey, I've been doing this for 3 years. I want to keep doing this. I would love to sit down and talk to you about a growth plan. And that includes this. Where are some areas that you feel like I could get better, some areas of improvement? What are some things that I could do, certifications or training, or some added responsibilities around here that will make me more valuable to the team? I want to take on a bigger load. I want to create more value. And then third, how can we measure those two things and tie that to my compensation? Because I want to grow professionally, which means I want to grow financially. That would be the posture by which you take that information, right? That's if you are making less. If you find out that you're, right there in the middle of that range, again, same conversation, growth plan, because you want to max out. John, anything you'd add there?
Joel, what makes you think you're underpaid?
So I talked to a few people kind of roughly in the same position as I am, and they were all making more than me. Mm-hmm. But I also heard that it was kind of bad etiquette to go around asking people like roughly what they make. So that's kind of why I thought that, because of the people that had roughly the same amount of responsibilities were being paid more. But I only asked 3 people.
Same company?
I'm not.
Yeah, same business.
Nope, slightly different company, but same industry.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I think Ken, Joel, stay here because I want to ask Ken this because you deal with this all the time, and Joel, this will help you because I think this is a broader question. I'm hearing people. Let's say you're a mold maker for machine parts. You make $19 an hour. And right now, we're in this weird little glitch in the matrix where you drive down the road and it says $21 an hour at Sonic with a $5,000 signing bonus. It's easy to correlate what we're seeing and hearing about on the news and the market. And Joel, I'll tell you, those kind of conversations, they can give you a ballpark, but people lie to you.
That's right.
Oh, I'm making $42 an hour, bro. You're getting ripped off. No, you're not. You're not telling the truth. So I would hold that very loosely, that information you got. But Ken, there's this balance of, I think I'm being underpaid, which is a different conversation than I'm not making enough money, which is a different conversation with, I worked really hard and got a lot of training in this one particular skill, and now they're paying this at Taco Bell. And those aren't related conversations.
No, they are not. And so we see this all the time where you've got, this happened over the last 2 years, where aside from the pandemic, where we had a big drop in unemployment, the unemployment rate has now dropped back down, and we now have 10.4 million jobs, higher than we had prior to the pandemic coming in, let's call it March 2020. Okay. What we were seeing was young people were coming in, and because there was such a need, there were more jobs available than there were people who were unemployed. Younger people, less experienced people were coming in and taking a position, and because of the demand, supply-demand, basic economics here, Joel, what happened is they were getting paid more than somebody who had been there before. But it was about supply demand. Companies, it wasn't that they thought that this younger person who had the same amount of experience was a better employee. It was just, this is what the market is kind of pushing, that I've got to pay right now. Right. So to further solidify what you're saying, these are not all related. And so what I would say, Joel, is to what John is saying, having a conversation with a couple guys that do the similar work, and them just being your only source, that's never good, because, John, this is back into the world you spend a lot of time in, which is comparison. Right. I struggle with comparison. I mean, good heavens, we all do. Right. And when I look at, well, these guys are doing the basic thing and they're making $3 or $4 more an hour, all of a sudden, it's really impossible to look at what really matters, which is, let's say that you got an offer, Joel, today to be paid $3 more an hour doing the same work in another company, but you knew going in that they were crappy people to work for,
or they treated you like insurance, or
something worse than what you have it now. Let me just tell you something, John. I can't tell you how many callers I've had on the Ken Coleman Show say, "Ken, I took a promotion for the money only. I'm miserable now. What do I do?"
Right. So, Joel, I want you to back out of this conversation. Keep it as far away from the $19 versus $21 an hour.
Yes.
Because the temptation is to take that $3 an hour, multiply it times 60 hours a week, times this many a month, and I should be making this much more a month. And think about that on my paycheck, and then I would buy this. Yep. It's so easy to go on that road. Back out and say, the question, let me just say what I always ask, Ken, and you can tell me this is wrong. Did my boss, are they deceiving me? I don't even care. Let's say I found out you make $200,000 more than I do.
Right.
I could say, man, I want to make that kind of money. But really, I'd go back and say, me and Dave shook hands, and he never tricked me. He's paying me this. Right. So
yeah, I would go further.
Is fair.
I think that's the right first question. Did they deceive me on this?
Right.
Number two, let me do my actual research. He hasn't done it yet.
Dig in. And
so the advice I gave him first, let's go see what's out there and how far off am I on the market average. Then number three, do I love this work?
Yeah.
Do I value this place? Do they value me? These are the quick little questions you're going to ask. And you're taking a snapshot to go, do I have a ladder here?
Yeah.
Because if I go over here, the grass is rarely greener, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Relationally, professionally, right. Am I right?
And I think we're in a season now where we're watching the world change underneath us.
Yes.
And the heartbreaking reality that millions will face is, I have been trained in a thing that took me a decade to get trained. I'm an expert in fill in the blank. I have been doing this fill in the blank for 20 years.
Yep.
And technology, AI, the market moves.
Yep.
And often we're left with two choices: curl up and be devastated by it, or to say, that was a fun run, and now I'm back in the training, I'm back in the finding people to find out what my new career is going to be, what's this thing going to look like, but you got to face that reality and move on. It may be that $19 an hour was incredible 7 months ago, and now that's what the starting salary at a fast food joint is. You got some hard choices to make.
Here's the underlying lesson, folks. The amount of money you're getting paid really has nothing to do with your purpose. And purpose in your work is what really, really matters. Phones are lighting up. 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman here with you on The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we take your calls this hour about your life. We'll talk about your money, your work, your relationships, your health, mental health, sleep, obnoxious coworkers, horrible leaders, family members that are driving you nuts. I mean, it's pretty much just wide open.
Or
we're here to discuss it.
Incredible success stories
Which
like we're
is
looking at right now.
There. This is what we love. On the debt-free stage is John and Catherine. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
You bet. Where are you guys from?
We're from a little town called White, Georgia, about an hour north of Atlanta.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I know that area. So you're here to do a debt-free scream. Tell us how much you paid off.
$87,511.
Oh, wow. $87,511.
Wow. Not that we're counting every penny, but
yeah, absolutely. And how long did it take you to pay it off?
28 months.
28 months. And tell us the range of income.
We started at about $105,000 and ended at about $140,000.
There we go. Tell me about the $35,000 bump. What'd you do?
I got a promotion at work, and also I'm in sales, so as the longer I do it, more commission base I build, that kind of thing.
There you go. Good for you. Congratulations.
what do you sell, man?
I am the national sales manager for a company that sells manufacturing equipment.
Okay, awesome. All right. And Catherine, tell us what you do.
I'm a homemaker.
Come on.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're the CEO of the house.
She has the hard job.
That's exactly
Yep.
right. That's the heavy lifting. Well, that is so fantastic. So what kind of debt was it?
A little bit of everything. We had some old business debt from a business that we had sold about 7 years prior. We had some medical debt, car payments, credit cards, personal loan, just you name it. We had a little bit of everything.
Wow. So take us back. 28 months ago, you start this journey. What led to this?
So it would have been, so we started in January of 2019. So in December, we just kind of gone through the Christmas the Christmas rush, trying to come up with money, charging everything up to our eyeballs to, buy more Christmas presents. And I think what really hit it for me was, I think it was about a month before Christmas, with the income that we made, I went to a pawn shop to make some money to pay some of our bills. And here I was, so I'm pawning things, and next month turning around and charging stuff on credit cards. And so this is just insane. This does not make any sense
So you're
anymore.
making six figures and then running a pawn.
We were a
pawn
mess. One of those things. And Catherine had been through FPU when she was in high school, but
Oh, great.
Yeah, my dad introduced to me.
And so at this point, take us to this. What you guys are a mess. Do you say, hey, I remember this class. Wait, what happened?
Basically, I was like, you want to live debt-free? And he was like, yeah.
And she brought it up to us again. And I had listened to Dave Ramsey on the radio a few times, and kind of heard him, flipping through the stage. So I started listening a little bit more and trying to get into it. And we said, you know what, January is a good time to kind of start fresh. And we go through that process. But we were kind of Dave-ish until about March of 2020.
Okay.
We were definitely still going on the journey. We'd done the step one, and we were working on step two, but it was not as gazelle intense as it should have been. And then March 2020 with the pandemic.
Did something happen in March of 2020?
There you go.
What happened?
The whole world burned down, and came back together again.
My bad.
Yeah.
So we went through it. We got really gazelle intense then. So at the height of our journey, we were not only was I working, my regular job, but on the weekends I was delivering pizzas. I was also doing 2 side gigs, both buying and delivering groceries. We were selling stuff on eBay. We had always had a large garden, so we set up a farm stand. We started selling where she was canning goods. We were selling jellies and jams and our own produce, and we were working 5 or 6 different things just to really have any money we could get coming in to really speed it up. So like a large portion of what we paid down came from March of 2020 until May of 21.
Yeah.
That last the last leg of it.
My goodness.
So you had a great salary and paying off almost $90,000. Y'all were really running lean.
We were.
Yeah.
And
what was the most extreme? Like, take us to. We just heard how intense you all were from a work standpoint. You guys were getting after it, bringing in more money. But talk about the sacrificing, the abstaining side of things. How crazy did you get?
Well, I switched from buying clothing and things for the children at like retail stores to going to consignment and thrift stores to borrowing from friends and hand-me-downs.
Did the kids survive? Did they make it?
Oh, yeah.
They did. They made it.
No way.
Yeah, and then we switched our cell phone providers to something much, much cheaper. And, just rice and beans.
Yeah, we cut cable. We went to we did that. We also did.
Then you got to play with your kids and talk to each other. Now what are we going to do?
Right.
We did lots of things like that. We also we went from buying like quote unquote like healthier food, like some of the more organic stuff, to where we went to to buying all
Aldi.
generics into Aldi and places like that. Really, we saw just switching grocery stores. We knocked our grocery bill down by like $600 a month.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is crazy. So
That's
things
a lot
like
of money.
that.
Yeah.
And we just made a lot of little changes and a lot of telling each other no. But hey, we kind of want to do this thing. Well, it's not in the budget, and we can't do it this month, or let's look at it next month. And I think the biggest thing for us through it all was really it improved our communication skills. Because before, even though we were sharing bank accounts and everything else, our money was often running two different directions. We had goals for ourselves and not necessarily
A family unit.
Yeah, that we weren't talking together about as much. And at this point, we'd been married 6 years when we began this journey, so we should have already been on the same page, but it kind of was in different directions. So this really helped us pull together, and we did every dollar together every month and sat down. And I think the first probably 8 or 9 months she hated that time of the month, and then we kind of got better as we got used to it. And making adjustments and learning how to work on a budget and stay through things. And we dealt with setbacks. I mean, we had about $25,000 in medical bills. We had a cash flow through the beginning of this. So she had to have some major surgeries. So we had to do some of that, and we also had to buy a new HVAC system. We had to do
the
some car
dreaded
repairs.
HVAC. It always likes to show up when we're trying to make headway financially. What would you say to couples out there that aren't on the same page? They're hearing this and they're shaking their head. They're going, "We're not on the same page financially." You guys got on the same page. What would you say to encourage them?
I mean, I think just finding your why, getting your goal, and then really just finding a way to communicate. I had to adjust how I spoke to her about money, because if I wasn't careful, the way I spoke about money came off to her like I was either being condescending or I was not valuing what's important to her, because we had different things that were important. Yeah. And I think I mean from your end.
Basically, I've been very privileged my whole life, so being told no was not really exciting. But,
Not really
learning
exciting.
to live like within your means and below your means, to make sacrifices, really was rewarding. It's a good feeling to be able to look back and see what I've accomplished.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who are your cheerleaders? Who are the people that really cheered you on and stayed with you through the journey?
I mean, definitely our families.
Our families.
Her parents especially, and mine too as well. But her parents, who are the ones who had sent her through FPU back in high school, they were followers of the program, were kind of encouraging us on, and my dad and stepmom as well. And we had some good folks and from family and friends in our corner.
From friends from our church were really encouraging as well.
That's awesome. And the kiddos, I see that they're here with you. We're going to bring them up in just a moment. But did they get it? Like, were they kind of in tuned, and how did they contribute?
Well, they after saying no to so many things to them for so long, we figured we had to kind of tell them why at some point. We explained the concept of debt, and they were like, "Well, why would you get into that? That seems silly." We're like, well, yes, out of the mouths of babes come wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So, but they started to understand what we were doing, and they were excited for us, and we're talking about it. And then sometimes they would tell each other, or and our oldest, who's with his grandmother today, but he'd remind him, "No, we're not doing that because because mommy and daddy are in debt. Like, we're working on stuff." And so they kind of help police each other a little bit. So it was good.
Well, I see they've joined us, so tell us who they are and their names and ages, please.
This is Ephraim. He is 7. This is Lydia. He is 6.
She is 6.
There you go. We got it. Ephraim and Lydia. That is so awesome. Now, have they been practicing their scream? Are they ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think it's time, don't you, John?
That's right.
Let's
we're going to give you a copy of the Legacy Journey, because that's the next step. It's where y'all are headed. And we're going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover, so you can give it away to somebody who you think would benefit from it and change their life as well.
Yeah, so
Thank
please
you.
pass that along. All right, here we go. John and Catherine, Ephraim and Lydia, they paid off $511 actually in 28 months, making $105,000 to $140,000. Let's hear your debt-free scream.
Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! There it is. I love it. So good. Way to go, kiddos. They nailed it. That's a happy family, John. That's
incredible.
It's quite a sacrifice.
Yes, but it's 2 years. And now every single thing is different. 2 years!
Months. You're right. I mean, game changer. That's it. A little bit of storm, a little bit of hustle for peace and an unbelievable future ahead of this young family. Beautiful, beautiful
Wherever they
family.
want.
Great stuff. He is Dr. John Deloney. I'm Ken Coleman, and you're listening to The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague John Deloney, and we are here to take your calls about your life, your money, your work, your relationships, mental, emotional health, the whole 9 yards. Let's go. 888-825-5225 is the number. 888-825-5225. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Make sure you use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
So today's question comes from Marissa in Michigan. I'm 28 years old and currently at the end of what has been a very long and tiring PhD program, as most of them are. My goal has been to stay in academia where I could teach and do research, but I discovered along the way that this is not the path for me for a variety of reasons. I've lived very frugally and worked on the side, so I have no debt and $75,000 in savings and investments. Wow, way to go, Marissa. I've worked over 70 hours a week for the last 6 years, and I'm exhausted. I've lost interest in any work related to what I've studied, and I dread entering the workforce only to do more of the work I've grown to despise. What should I do?
Wow. Well, there's a whole lot here. I'm going to simplify this, John. I know you'll add to this, but I would start with, because of your financial I would call it freedom. I think it would be good for you to go do some job, just any job. Forget, and I'm the guy that's always pushing people to find their purpose and find that dream job, which is just simply about using what you do best to do work you love that produces results that matter. Because you're so fried, Marissa, on this type of work, I think you go try something totally different, and just, if it's just covering the basics, the bills, but you've always been intrigued by it and you're just going, I want to do this work because I think it'd be kind of neat, kind of fun, or I just want to help these people and get a paycheck. I'd keep it really simple. And I think that's the first step of kind of coming off of this deep fryer we use in the Deep South, where we throw anything in, and it's just hot burning grease and it's bubbling, and I think she's been in that so long. Then I would make sure I start re-examining what caused me to feel fried and lose it. I think there's a whole lot of circumstances, John, that we can't get to because this is an email question, but I would examine, do I love the work still? If I wasn't in that cauldron, that boiling cauldron of pressure, maybe some toxicity, a whole lot here we don't know about. And the way I would do that is by myself. I'd spend some time just getting alone under a tree, in front of a lake, quiet, and go, why did I love the work originally? And if I removed all the negative yuck, would I still love the work? And then the third step I would say is, and this is tactical, you can help out on the emotional advice and everything else, but I'd get with some people who do that work and they're really fulfilled and very happy. And I just spend some time talking to them and go, what's your environment like? And I would do all of that to see if the heart is telling us it's time to move to something totally different, because it could be. Or the heart's just damaged and it's wounded. That's my quick take.
Yeah, and anybody who's finishing, I love like the deep fryer. Anyone who's coming out of deep fryer, you're getting done with the PhD program. It's been very long.
Oh my gosh.
You should be burned out.
I can only imagine.
I'm fairly certain that my wife likes me on most days, and my kids. And there are some days when she says, I need to go away today. I need to go away for a couple of days, right? So just because you need a break, I love that idea. Just go get a job. Go get a job. And it's almost like a palate cleanser. Go put your head into something, and you can because you've worked really hard. And man, you were dead on. Working in academia at a big Research One institution is different from a teaching college, different from a faith-based school, from a community college. Do you hate teaching? Do you hate students? Do you hate research? Do you hate chemistry? Like, get clear, and you can only get clear when you've got some space.
That's exactly right.
Just back out a little bit. But just because you're fried doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean you hate chemistry.
Exactly right.
Or editing or whatever you got your PhD in. It may just be you're exhausted.
And I've taken so many calls from teachers who thought at the start of the phone call, Ken, they started off by saying, Ken, I need to get out of teaching. I have no career what to go to. Help. And when we dig in, we find that they're a teacher. They have the heart of a teacher. They were put on this planet to instruct, if we're going to make it simple. And now we got to find a different environment, because maybe the environment you're in, for reasons that they go through, isn't the best. And they go, oh, it's not. But they find, well, public school environment isn't for me, but community college, I would love it. Or trade school. Or go to the corporate world and be a trainer, which is an instructor. So it's tough, man. Because it's so hard to see clearly, John, when you're just trying to keep your nose above the water. And I imagine a doctorate feels like that. Like you're just, the water's up here.
Well, yeah, and as hard as she's been working on the side.
Oh, on top of everything else.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate the question. But
Good for you, Marissa.
This. All right, let's go to Baltimore, Maryland now, where Jayla joins us. Jayla, how can we help?
Good afternoon. How are y'all doing?
Well, we're having a blast. What's going on with you, Jayla?
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm currently a sophomore in college, debt-free due to a scholarship, and I pay nothing, but I'm somewhat restricted into one business school. Mind you, I've always had a passion for automotive and mechanical engineering throughout middle and high school. Due to my fear of debt and making my parents proud, I took the scholarship rather than going to the university I've always wanted to go to. And my question is, should I stay at the university I'm at due to my fear of debt, or go to the university I've always wanted to for the major I naturally have a passion for? I don't want to end up regretful and unhappy in a career path that I'm good at but do not enjoy one bit.
Yeah. Well, first of all, young lady, I sense a little bit, maybe you're beating yourself up a little bit because you did this thing. You're like, I made this choice to make mom and dad happy and to not go into debt. And you're a sophomore in college, so you are not at this crossroads where you've wasted any time or effort. I just sense that on you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, but don't.
Can I ask you a hard question, Jayla? Well, let me piggyback what Ken said. I've never heard anyone in all my years of working in college saying, you know what I'm really mad about? My free undergraduate education. I'm so ticked off about it. What an idiot. And so you have a passion. But you mentioned something that's a red flag for me after working with college students. Do you really not want to do business and do automotive engineering, or do you have your eyes set on a particular university that may have a particular person or two or three that go to that school?
That's the question. What's the answer?
Well.
Yeah, I knew it.
Wait.
I knew it.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. I think it's the right question, Doc. But I want to know, because you said at one point you've always had a passion for automotive engineering, and then it was this, we heard twice, this university I want to, and you're absolutely on it. So, Jayla, where is it at? Is it 50-50? Is it 60% university, 40% engineering? I mean, where are we?
It's more so like 60% engineering and 40% university, because the school I go to now, they don't have an engineering program at all.
Okay. So,
and that's what made it.
All right. So we have very limited time, so we're going to cut right to the chase. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because the heart of your question is, do I have to stay where I am in a scholarship for a degree I don't want, or take on debt? And that's a false narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to head that off. Here's what I teach, and John agrees with me. You need to do the engineering work, or you will regret. I mean, you've nailed this at a young age, that you don't want to be in a career and wake up at 35 and go, I didn't do the thing I wanted to do. You like solving mechanical problems. You like cars and the whole automotive thing. That's where you want to be. You've identified that. But here's the deal. How many different pathways are there to that future? That's the homework assignment that I'm going to give you, because you can answer that better than I can. But do not assume that you've got to take debt on to get there, because that's garbage. And it's not true. You hear me?
Yes.
So here's the question you got to ask. What degree do I need, or do I need a degree? And I think you do. To do the engineering, you need a degree. So who are all the people that offer that? Because let me just tell you this. Anybody that's going to hire you, Jayla, is not going to care where you got your engineering degree from. Am I right, John?
Most of the time. Yeah.
I set you up to where you just had to disagree.
No.
They don't care. Nobody cares. They want to know if you can do the job. So, Jayla, it's where else can I get it? You can't get it where you are. You're going to have a hard conversation with mom and dad, because I know they want you to go to school, but you're going to say, I'm still going to school, but I got to change my plan. So where can I get it? How much is that going to cost me? How do I save up for it? Maybe can I get a scholarship for that? I'm going to work as hard as I can to get into the school I need to get the degree I need to do the work I want to do.
No
debt.
You
can do this. No debt. That's a false narrative. You got this, Jayla. Thank you so much for the call. Hey, wow, that hour is over. Thank you, James Childs. Thank you, Kelly Daniel. Thank you, John Deloney. And thank you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we're here to take your calls this hour, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Doc, how you doing today? You good? You ready to roll?
Outstanding. That's right. We got a full audience,
stretched?
full crew out here in the lobby.
Yeah, I saw you back in the hallway doing some exercises with the throat.
None of that happened, but this did happen.
Yeah.
We greet people a lot on the show, and I was brushing my teeth after lunch, trying to be a good neighbor and community member, and I don't know how this happened.
I'm so excited you're telling this.
This has never happened.
Never.
I grabbed a tube of hair gel.
Yeah.
And I brushed my teeth with hair gel.
How long was it in your mouth before? Was it like a half a second, an eighth of a second, a tenth? I mean,
I'm still struggling with my taste and smell, so I was thinking this isn't right. And then I thought George Camel played a trick on me.
So you had that thought while still brushing with hair
this
gel.
This is not right.
Hey, how many doctorate degrees do you have? I forget.
Yeah.
We don't do taste testing in grad school.
Yeah, this is called being highly distracted.
Yes.
And I can't criticize him because, honestly, it feels like that's something that I would do. But we're keeping an eye on him, folks, because I'm half worried that any moment, James, he keels over, because I'm pretty sure there's a warning on the hair gel bottle, which, by the way, whose hair gel was it? And who uses hair gel still?
We do
was it
share.
yours?
We share an office we share a dressing room with George Camel. That's a whole new hair products back there. There was a hair dryer back there. There's a whole thing. But
I thought you were going to blame it on Dave.
That's another show. Dave is not a hair dryer guy, believe it or not. He's not a hair dryer guy.
Anyway, I hope he makes it through the rest of the hour. I don't think you're supposed to have that in your mouth. It's gotten up in your
I drank
gums.
my body weight in Listerine, and I think we're good.
Okay, good.
But it was not great.
Very good. All right, to the phones we go. We'll keep an eye on him, folks. I think he's going to be all right. Angela joins us in Lexington, Kentucky. Angela, how can we help?
Hi. Thank you guys for taking my call. I was actually hoping that, Ken, you would be on the show today because my question is specifically for you.
Okay.
And I work with some young adults and kids. I'm a little bit older than them, so I call them all kids. And I am trying to mentor them, kind of, sort of, to stay away from debt and things, because I don't want them to have the same regrets that I have, graduating college and going into, their lives as adults. And so I hear on the show sometimes you telling people kind of what kind of questions to ask themselves as far as careers and like their purpose in life and things like that. And
Sure.
so I'm setting up a library budget day kind of with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to ask those questions so that I can kind of give them a better idea of what they want their futures to look like. Because some have an idea, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
And some are just choosing college just to choose college. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, well, so let me give you a very basic set of questions that really it's the whole methodology that I teach. And this is how someone gets clear, and this is how we take this big, giant idea of purpose that seems so intimidating and so mythical and so hard to figure out, and we simplify it. So here are the questions. What do they do best? What do they do best? That's talent. Every person on the planet was born with talent. They'll acknowledge that. So we want to just begin to have some fun conversations with them. Let's not make this big career-oriented conversation. Let's take the pressure off of young adults because they don't have a ton of life experience. So we just start talking about, what do you do best? Hard skills, soft skills, right? So for one person, they might be really gifted artistically, right? Another person might be very good mechanically. What do they do best? That's a hard skill. Then the soft skills, otherwise known as people skills. So you've got hard skills and people skills. What do they do best? Then the second question is, what work do you love to do? Now, again, the younger the person, the more exploration they're going to have to do on this question, because they don't have 10 years of work. Maybe they don't even have a degree yet, as you've talked about. They don't have a major, so they're still trying to figure it out. But what work do they love to do? And I would break it down to task and function. When you think about doing work one day, work that you think might be enjoyable, or even in high school, if you begin to wonder about it, or you saw somebody else do something, you saw them at career day, even as an 8th grader, you went, that's interesting. We want to begin to have the conversation and say, what kind of work do you think you would enjoy doing? Just the task or the role itself. And then finally, what results do you want to put out in this world? And all work create results. So this is fun for somebody young, because now we get away from career titles, we get away from paths, and we just go, what contribution would you like to make to the world through your work? And there's a 3-part question within this one. Okay, I know I'm hitting you with a lot of questions, but this is the key.
You're fine.
These questions allow people to make everything personal. And so they dig. Who are the people they most want to help? And when they begin to think of the people they most want to help, they can also identify this. What's the problem they have or the desire they have? It doesn't always have to be a problem. It could be a desire. A 19-year-old could say, I want to help people that have a desire to look beautiful. And so that could turn into a whole career. Esthetician, cutting hair, whatever. Makeup artist, whatever. Clothing designer. So
Personal trainer.
Yeah. So we're looking at who are the people I most want to help, the problem or desire those people have, and then what's the solution to that problem or desire that I most get fired up about. Now, when we start talking about that third little part, the solution to the problem or the desire, then the ideas about occupation begin to kind of surface. And more importantly, what I'm giving you here is a conversation starter and then a conversation returner. Have these conversations over and over. Have them put out real answers. Have them then talk to men and women that are doing the work that they're kind of throwing out there as maybes. And I think the younger that you can get them thinking about this and exploring and discovering and talking to others, that's going to be really, really good. And I would point you to our Get Clear Career Assessment. We've got a 20-minute assessment online that if you're 18, 19, you're still going to get some good from it, even if you don't have a lot of work experience. And you can get that at RamseySolutions.com. And that's a wonderful little tool that'll give them a purpose statement, a working purpose statement that's not in stone, but they can begin to have a more detailed conversation.
It's great.
Yeah. So I appreciate the call. And John, you were in the education industry. Part of the thing that I think I'm trying to fight through our traditional education model, and this comes from culture and parents are kind of getting it from culture, is that we're sending kids off to colleges that have massive amounts of pressure to pick the right major and just figure it all out and get the absolute best right job out of college. I get that. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, where we're eliminating the discovery that I think needs to happen from 18 to 21 and just diving deep on that simple of a conversation,
Well, I remember when my son was in first grade, they were talking about what college you're going to go to.
Yeah, it's nuts to me.
I was thinking, he's learning numbers, dude.
Right.
Right. I was 35. I don't know what I want to do with my life back then. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the pressure we put on people from ages 6 to... Yeah. It's just bananas.
So that little simple process is just about self-discovery.
By the way, what you just said about I want to help people look their best, you can become a chemist. You can create the weight room equipment. You can run a gym. There's 1,000 ways to solve that problem.
That's exactly right. Good stuff. All right, folks. 888-825-5225 is the number. Your call's coming up next. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Thrilled that you are joining us. My name is Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. We are Ramsey personalities and thrilled to be with you this hour as we take your questions. It's about your life, your money, your work, relationships, your health, mental health, the whole 9 yards. We are here to help you out. And I want to remind you that work isn't a 4-letter word. It doesn't have to suck. It really doesn't. We are in this great resignation where people are considering changing jobs because they want meaning in their work. And our proven plan has helped thousands and captured all the details of the 7 stages to doing work you love in my new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love. You can pre-order today. It is a proven clear path that will walk anyone in any industry with any experience through the step-by-step plan to finding meaningful work. Now, if you pre-order today, you get our Get Hired bonus pack for free, which includes the resume templates, the Get Hired digital course, streaming access to our From Paycheck to Purpose live event, a 30-day free trial to Ramsey Plus, and so much more. That's over $100 of free stuff. So if you want to do work you love and make the move in 2022, go ahead and get ahead of the competition. Go to the online store at RamseySolutions.com and pre-order your copy of my new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, today for only $20. When you do, you get all that other amazing free stuff. So go get it. RamseySolutions.com. All right, the phone number is 888-825-5225. Let's go to Kansas City, Missouri, where Earl is waiting. Earl, how can we help?
Thanks for taking my call. Basically, the question is this. I'm a minister, and I work in a nonprofit organization. My question has to do with this. You guys have an ethos there in your with Ramsey Solutions. I have a Christian culture because I hear you guys use a lot of phrases and whatnot, so I can use some language that. So when I say a servant's heart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My question has to do with what is the relationship, if any, between having a servant's heart and, say, not receiving a promotion that you thought or you should have received, or being demoted from the position that you're in. If your employer says, yeah, this is what happened, but you need to have a servant's heart about this, how exactly is that processed within that mode of thinking? Where are the lines? How does that fit together?
So I
want to know.
So you were demoted on a church staff, and they said you need to handle this with a servant's heart. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm about possibly to be demoted.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to.
Why are you being demoted?
Information. Why?
Yeah.
Changes in administration above me.
But why are you being demoted?
Other than changes with folks above me, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, is it? Are they cutting back?
I run a discipleship. I'm sorry?
Is it cutting back on costs? Are they trying to?
They're going in a different leadership direction. You're not performing up to the standards that they want. It's saying a new leadership team came in.
Yeah, there's more to it than that.
Right. And be honest and reflective.
What happened was, basically, an administrator, one position above me, put forth a promotion for me to do a different job.
Okay.
So right now, I run a whole program for men.
Okay.
If I was to be put in this position, I would do 1/3 of the work that I was doing before. I'm trying to be vague just in case.
Sure. Okay, got it.
So it's not a matter of my performance, I can assure you of that. But this one person put forth this idea that, well, we can put this person here, and then we can have 4 people doing case management. Because right now I just don't do case management. I do everything. Mm-hmm. I teach a ton of classes. I do so many different things.
So, but are you being asked to do more work for less money, or are they just edging you out? I'm confused at what's happening.
I was trying not to be too specific because of time constraints.
Sure. Okay. Well. Okay. Go ahead.
So basically, there's a different program where clients go to for 9 months after my program. My program is 6 weeks long.
Okay.
Basically, I assess what caused the homelessness. Usually it's addictions or mental disorders,
Okay.
or a combination of both or other things. Then for the next 6 weeks, I take care of discipling them, telling them about Christ, teaching, having them classes on addiction, classes on many, many different things.
Okay.
I help them get all the things they need to be prepared for the next.
And so is
program.
the church saying that we don't want to do those things anymore?
No, the church is saying we want to take your program and the next program and put them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you no longer will run this program, but you'll be a case manager in the next program.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
So right now I run the whole program.
All right. So Earl, here's my take on your initial question. John, you weigh in here, but Earl, it feels manipulative to me. It's Christianese. I grew up in the church, so I feel like I can say this. You can have a servant's heart. You should have a servant's heart. We should all have a servant's heart, okay? But you still have a heart. And this is a demotion, and you don't like it. And it's obvious, and you don't have to like it. Now, what you have to decide, though, is they've made this decision. Sounds like it's being made. And I've got to decide, can I serve there? Can I get my head and heart right after I deal with this disappointment? And do I feel like I'm supposed to be there? Do I feel called to this particular place versus I know the work that I love to do and what I'm called to do? So I don't like the way it sounds because the bottom line is this feels kind of crappy. And you're going to have to decide, do I want to stay here because of this? Now, don't leave because you're hurt. I think you need to leave if you feel like the work I'm supposed to be doing, the work that I'm challenged by, I'm not able to do here anymore, so I'm going to look elsewhere. But to answer your question at its simplest form, how do you process that? You can have a servant's heart and still think it's pretty crappy.
You can
have to act like a jerk.
Yeah, be heartbroken and be angry and pissed off and frustrated.
Yeah.
The servant's heart part, and I agree with you,
I
kid.
feel it's manipulative.
That's just nonsense. Yeah, it's manipulative nonsense. I hate that crap. The reality is, though, you can have all those feelings and experiences. You still have an obligation to treat people with dignity and respect.
That's right.
And you still have to deal with reality.
Yeah.
And the reality is you worked really hard. This was your baby. You loved it. And a new group of managers came in and said, we're gonna contract everything together and move you into a different role. And so heartbreaking, it's hard, sad. It feels personal. It's going to be vulnerability, shame, all this stuff. And you're going to say, I appreciate you being honest with me and telling me that. And I've got some decisions to make.
That's right.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
And it's
don't blow
hard.
up
I
the
wish it
bridge.
was more complex than that, but it's not.
It isn't. And don't blow up the bridge. But, you don't have to not say, or push back. And if there is some, I'm reading into this, John.
I am too. I've been there too. I hate, oh, gosh.
But if the decision has yet to be made, and if they were just going, you need to handle this with a servant's heart, and they're going, don't push back, well,
or don't ask questions.
You can ask questions, and you should, and you can still have a humble spirit, and you can be civil and ask questions and push back. But it just felt like, to me, it was a blanket statement that was just like, hey, dude, here's the deal.
Yeah.
You don't get any say in this, which I understand. Leaders have to make decisions. But to put a
wallpaper Jesus over it. That's it.
Yeah, that's my issue.
When you make a business decision in a nonprofit, and then you wrap people's human reaction and make it a moral or spiritual issue, drives me crazy because it's weaponizing.
Yes, thank you.
It's weaponizing kindness. It's weaponizing the gospel. It's weaponizing humanity. Don't do that. If you're going to make a business decision, look at somebody and say, you've worked really hard and we appreciate it. We're going a different direction.
So true. And let me just throw a shot at leaders out there. Don't you dare, whether it's a faith-based organization or not, don't you dare treat people like crap and wrap it in the flag of the cause.
So stupid.
You
got me all fired up here, Earl. Thanks. I was having a great Wednesday, and then Earl calls. Now, I'm glad you called, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Earl, you'll get through this, man. Do not let this decision in any way define you.
And treat people with dignity and respect, brother, no matter what happens.
He is John Deloney. I'm Kid Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, where we take your questions about your life, your money, your work, relationships, and so on and so forth. I am Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Delaney. We're taking your calls. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. And through the very heavy glass here in the studio, in the lobby, I see John over there on the debt-free stage. John, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I appreciate it.
Where are you from?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. All right. All the way here to do a debt-free scream.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Give us the numbers. How much debt did you pay off?
$184,673.
Whoa. And how long did that take?
5 years.
Oh, wow. And give me your range of income.
Started at 54.6, and right now I'm just shy of 90.
Whoa. Talk to me about that. What'd you do to get the old jump in the pay?
Hard work. Got a couple of promotions with a prior job, and then COVID was one of the better things that happened. I got furloughed for 5 months and laid off with about 2 weeks' notice, and now I have a better position, making a lot more money, a great culture, and it's just kind of happening. So
wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
it's true that the income definitely goes up as you're going through the process.
Yes, sir. You got a much bigger shovel. That is a beautiful thing. All right, tell us about the debt. What kind of debt are we talking about?
It was mainly student loans. 118.2 of it was student loans. I had a Jeep payment. I had a home equity loan. I had 2 credit cards. And then I had a couple medical bills, some home repairs. I know you mentioned earlier, someone mentioned their air conditioning went out. Mine also went out. So not a need, or not a want, I should say, but it worked out.
What did you study $118,000 worth of?
Not as much as you, but my undergraduate is...
So you have friends and relationships?
I'm not as fancy.
I see what you're saying.
No, but...
you have a social life? Real cool, John.
A little bit, yeah. Who knew? Undergrad is in hospitality from Penn State, and my master's degree is from Robert Morris University in human resource management.
Okay, great. And what are you doing now?
I'm a corporate trainer.
Oh, yeah.
So I work for a healthcare robotics company.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. So 5 years ago, you start this journey. What led to it? What was the catalytic moment, if there was one?
My mom and I've been in debt my whole life, and I actually got very fortunate. I got a promotion which was going to make me travel 80% of the time. So I said, company's going to be paying for 80% of my expenses. Where's all this money coming from? And I learned of Dave Ramsey, and I took FPU in 2012, and as he say, I failed it. I didn't really do. I did the barely even Dave-ish, and when I got the new job, I sat down with my friend Kristen, and I ended up being her first client. Did my first budget. I had $1,500 left over, and I said, where's this money coming from? That was August 11th, 2016, and I said, where's this money coming from? And she said, you're putting it on paper before it happens, and light bulb. It just went off, and I said, I need to do this. I didn't have any hope up until that point, and once I did that and I had that much money left, it's on. It was on.
So Kristen was a financial coach?
She wasn't. I was her first client, and now she's full time. I was actually here for enrichment. Ken, we talked, and John, you also pointed to me yesterday.
I remember your question. You got a little bit of emotion right there.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, what's that coming from?
Just it's finally happened, and I'm there, and I can now do some things that I haven't really ever been able to do.
Yeah, like what?
And not worry, for one.
There we go.
That day, as soon as I did that budget, I paid my first credit card off. It was $996. I paid that off the next day, and I had that for years. I couldn't pay it. $25 a month, I couldn't pay it, and I paid the next day, and it just blew me away. So not worrying about money, it was completely gone. I use every dollar every single day. I just bought both of your books back there.
By the way, that was a good decision, I want to tell you.
I hear it was. Yeah. So, debit card, those credit cards are cut up. I think.
What are you dreaming about, though? I just sense there's some big old dreams.
If our 2 books are the top of your dream list, you're not dreaming big enough, brother.
They're close. They're close. They're close. I was in enrichment this week, and one of the things we talk about is go from here to there, and dreaming and having those goals set up, and it's a lot it's very high on my priority list just to not have that money worry. I am very fortunate. I've had people very fortunate in my life to help me. I like to give back, so I'm very involved in my Rotary Club and my Masonic Lodge. So being able to give back and that, outrageous generosity to me is very important. So that's one of the things I really am looking forward to doing and increasing as I move forward. And I know it's kind of cliche enjoying life, but man, some of the things that I know I can do down the road and helping people and some cool vacations. I may or may not want to buy an 82 or an 86 Jeep CJ7.
Come on, man. Now you're speaking my language.
We'll see.
I love the classic cars, bro.
Yeah. So that's one of my dream cars. So I'm looking forward to some things like that.
That's
a little bit
awesome.
of material, but most of it is just being able to give back. And
Have you
really
had that
enjoy.
moment where all your bills are paid and the check deposited and you're just staring at it in your online account? Have you had it?
Prior to all this?
No.
No, since.
When did you hit send on your last payment?
December 10th,
Okay.
my mother's birthday.
Oh, so
actually.
you've had
or September 10th, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So
it hasn't
you haven't had the October check that the whole thing lands and you got nowhere to send it.
Not yet. It hasn't really sunk
It's
in
all yours, man.
yet. Here it is. Yeah.
That's going to be a special moment. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we're proud of you, brother. That's incredible.
Absolutely. So talk to people. What's the key in your mind for your journey to get there?
Number one is the budget. I mentioned every dollar. I use that all the time. Even if you're not using that, find a way to do the budget and stick to it. And for me, it's constant motivation and having those accountability partners. My friend Kristen Recupero, she and I talk very often when I'm kind of struggling. And frankly, I listen to all of you here. I listen to the podcast every day. And it just kind of helps me. I tear up a little bit and get good goosebumps when I hear all the other debt-free screams. There was one earlier I heard and gave them some high fives. So that, for me, to help keep me going, especially being single, it's nice to have those accountability partners in your life, friends and family, and some people, quote-unquote, perfect strangers on a radio that I haven't met until recently, talking about their stories. So to me, that's very important.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's something about the community.
That's everything, right? Other people are your emergency fund for life.
Yeah. Did you get involved in a class at some point in this journey as well?
I took FPU in 12, as I mentioned, and then I'm also a coordinator. I have another class starting October 11th.
Did you take it again, or you just kind of remembered it all, and you were like, I'm going to make this happen?
I just remembered it all. I still have all the materials.
Yeah.
And just listening to the podcast, it kind of helps remind me of that. And then obviously coordinating, I'm basically taking it again. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing that. That is so great.
Happy
So
to
you've
help.
listened to a lot of debt-free screams.
I have.
And you've gotten chills and some emotion, and now you're standing there on the stage.
Yep.
This is a pretty big deal. Well, here's the deal. We want to give you two things. We want to give you a copy of Dave's book, The Legacy Journey, because that's the next step in the chapter for you, really about building legacy. And you already kind of began to detail how you're dreaming about how the impact is going to change from your life because of your financial freedom. And then we're going to give you a copy of Dave's wildly best-selling book, Total Money Makeover, for you to gift to somebody else. And we're really, really excited that you came here to do your debt-free scream. You ready to go?
I am.
You've earned
all
it.
my life for this.
You've earned it. All right, here we go. John from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he paid off $184,000 in 5 years, making $54,000 to then $90,000. John, this is your moment. Let's hear your debt-free scream.
I'm going to break your microphone here.
Let's do it.
Bring it on, homie. Let's do this.
2, 1. I'm debt free!
There we go. We got a little WWE happening there. Hey, we need a chair and a table to break, don't you think, John? That would have been fun. What a great story.
Hey, John mentioned Ramsey certified financial coaches.
He did. We got a bunch of them in the lobby.
That's
today.
right. So if you are wondering, hey, I want someone to walk alongside, and I know it's embarrassing to say, I hear how to make a budget. I get it. It's a math problem and it's a planning problem. I need someone to walk alongside me. I don't want someone I can text throughout a week. Go to RamseySolutions.com and look up Ramsey Certified Coaches.
Yep.
They're an incredible crew of people.
Unbelievable.
That will walk alongside you in your journey, and you will end up here in Nashville, Tennessee on the Debt Free stage.
That's right. John and I had the privilege of speaking with that group at a great event here this week, as well as getting to hang out with them, and they are on the front lines, man. They are incredible men and women who have truly the heart of a teacher. They've walked the journey, and they'll help you. They are invaluable. Great point. Go get yourself a financial coach. It is the game changer. Everybody needs a coach. All right, don't move. More of the Ramsey Show coming right up after the break. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, America, where we talk about you, your life, where you want to be, your hopes, your dreams, your challenges. We are here for you. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague John Deloney, and it is a free call for you to jump in. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. If there's one thing, John, that 2020 taught us about is investing, it's this. You can't do it alone. You need somebody in your life who knows the market better than you and helps you make smart decisions. We both love do-it-yourselfers, right? I love these shows. I'm always jealous of these folks that can do anything themselves because I barely can. You know, just to get dressed and get out of the house is a big feat for me. But when there's a global crisis, if you try to do it yourself and you invest in the wrong things, you get caught up in the trends, you're going to make rookie mistakes. And if you build a portfolio based on what you read on Reddit, oh my word, folks, you don't need the unnecessary stress like that in your life. So never again let your investments be at the mercy of some global crisis. Get some people in your corner who know what they're doing. Text the word INVEST to 33789. Text the word INVEST to 33789. All right, to the phones we go. Billings, Montana. Whitney is there. Whitney, how can we help?
I have a question on our business side of things.
Okay.
So, husband and I have a trucking company that we started a year ago. And we started out with a $10,000 semi, and just him and I, and we have a trailer payment, and then we bought another truck on top of it, and we have $20,000 on the trailer, $44,000 on the new truck, and in personal trucking, or in the trucking right now, we have $33,000, and I'm wanting to pay off the trailer, but wondering if that's a good idea or not.
Why would it not be a good idea? We believe in paying off all debt. You don't want to be underneath that. So
No,
what's
but
the source
we
of
only
your
have
question?
$33,000. Well, $33,000 in the trucking steel bill right now is $5,000. Work is definitely busy, but relying on income on a personal business side of things, sometimes you're waiting 2 to 3 months before you get paid.
You just gave me more reason why you should not be leveraged owing other people money.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just started this thing.
Why do you have 2 trucks?
Keep one going while the other one is broke down.
So you borrowed money for 2 trucks and a trailer, one just in case something happens to the other one, and so you.
But no, the first truck is paid off. The first truck we only bought that $10,000, paid cash for it, and it's an old truck. Semis break down a lot.
Okay, but how much does it cost you to fix on average? You've got some kind of track record here where you can say, well, over the last 3 months we spent X amount of dollars on repairs to this truck.
The last 3 months on both trucks, we have put in over $40,000 in repairs.
I'm sorry, did you say 40,000?
Yep.
For what?
A rebuild on the motors, differentials on both of them, the 8 pumps on one of them.
And it never occurred to you to sell one of these trucks.
Oh, well, we can't when one's broke down and we're using the other one as income.
So you don't even have the cash to fix the one that you own outright. Am I getting this right?
Oh, no, the one that we own outright is still running.
Okay, then.
The one that we owe on is the one that is broke down, and we do not know why it is not.
So Whitney, here's what y'all have done. Whitney, hold on. Y'all have created a big, giant mess, and now you're spending precious energy, precious relational capital, precious money trying to solve this mess that y'all created. And
then there was another wrench thrown in the plan. Our oldest son is diagnosed with brain cancer in March.
That's right.
Oh no!
There's too much chaos in your world, hon,
to have all these payments and all of this. Well, we need to keep this one in case that one breaks down. And then the one that you got as the emergency vehicle is the one that you're spending $30,000 on. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But to answer your original question, yes, sell one of these trucks, pay off your trailer, owe nobody anything. Even if it cost you a day or two in earnings, just do the math on what it costs to hold another truck without any earnings against it. You're just got too much.
The one that we owe against is the one that's broke down.
That's right. Sell the truck.
Yeah. You're going to have to. You got to slow down. You got to back out of this. We got to fix this. You guys jumped into this thing and you had some mechanical problems. I get that. I mean, that's Murphy's Law. It happens. But you have so much else going on, and that little boy is everything to you guys. And this trucking business is not the only way you all can make a living. So I know you got a lot going on, but I want you to consider that, wait a second, we're going to have to circle the wagons as a family and go through this incredibly, I don't even understand what you're dealing with. I couldn't possibly unless I had walked through it, but I just know that there's other ways for you all to make money, and if we have to press pause on the trucking company or we scale it back to the one that is working and we're just going to only do what we can do there, we have got to get stable, and you've got to get this debt cleaned up, and you got to get out of this thing. You guys can always get back in it. You can always ramp it back up, but do it cash like you did on the first truck.
I would sell that second truck, pay off the trailer, and you're going to have an old truck that's yours, and if it breaks down, you don't owe anybody any money in the gap. But right now it's not breaking down. It's the newer one that you bought as the insurance against the old one that's breaking down on you. And like Ken said, you've just had a tornado. You had a bomb go off in the middle of your home, which is a really scary diagnosis. And this is going to take some clarity, some clear thinking, some simplification of a whole bunch of stuff, because now you're going to get a real clear picture of what matters. And it's that little boy. And like Ken said, if that means one of you has to take another job that's got health insurance, one of you's got to stop the dream we had of on the road, everything changes now. You are all different now.
Everything.
So you got to sit down and say, where are we? Who are we? And then what's the little steps going to look like moving forward?
Yeah. And please hear us. Neither one of us said, Whitney, that the dream is dead. No. We're saying we got to scale back or pause completely. We can get back on this thing. You've learned so many lessons from this, but yes, get out of debt. Get this thing cleaned up as quick as you can, and there'll be another day. The storm is over you right now, and you got to deal with the storm, and we don't need to add any elements to the storm. It's bad enough as it is. So it's heartbreaking, John. Yep. I mean, it's hard to think clearly, too. You know, you got all this complexity. This business, this brand new business, it's still a baby business. Yeah. And all of a sudden, your baby comes down with something that just shocks everything. Your whole world. Yeah. Shocks it.
I tend to overcomplicate things by trying to overplan for contingencies, which is it's a fear of losing control. And then a good example is, having 50 different passwords for every login and making sure those are all written over here and that password is over here. I end up making everything so complex that I can't function. And that's a simple, obnoxious way, but they started an awesome business. They had a dream. And my guess is that somebody made fun of them about their old truck. Somebody was like, that's what you're driving, or that thing's going to break down. You better be ready. You're going to lose a big load. And so they got enough of that in their ear that they went and bought a truck that they couldn't afford. And then that's the one that's broke down. Keep things simple when you're starting. Don't owe people money. People don't understand how freeing that is.
Yeah.
And get a group of people around you to rally around. Your son's going to be in it for the long haul.
Yep. But I will tell you, there are options, folks.
Yep.
There are options to make more money, to get through any money crisis you need right now. So go to work, do whatever you got to do, and stabilize.
And give us, if we can ever help you, Whitney, give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel. I want to thank my colleague, Dr. John Maloney. I want to thank you, America. You're the reason we do the show. This is your show. It is The Ramsey Show.
Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. We'll talk also about your work, your relationships, the whole 9 yards. We're here to help you and give you hope and a clear path forward. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague John Deloney. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Austin, Texas, where Michelle joins us. Michelle, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. So I had a question just regarding my roommate situation. The past year has been a real roller coaster, and the lease is coming up to an end on Sunday. My roommate isn't communicating with me and hasn't paid her September rent still, and it's the 22nd now. So and she's blocked me. So I'm just wondering how to kind of go about this situation. And I don't know if I should confront her in person or what really to do.
I'm gonna jump ahead in front of John on that one. Yes.
Literally, my question was,
is she still sleeping in the same place?
Did she brick your door? How do you block somebody in real life? Y'all live in the same room, and you answered it for me. Should you talk to her in person? God Almighty, please help all of us. Yes. Yes.
So I've actually moved out, and I think she's moving the rest of her stuff out today.
But I know, but you're guessing. Just go over and have a human interaction. A polite, respectful, dignified one. And if she acts like a maniac or a jerk, you can say, hey, you don't have permission to talk to me that way. Here is a letter that says, here's your notice that you're going to be moving out. And then you have peace in your heart and you go around about your day. But you have so much chaos in your heart because you don't have real information, because you haven't had a real human conversation with another real human.
What happened?
Yeah. What happened with
What happened with you two to where you feel like you can't just go, hey, look, we don't have to like each other. We're certainly not going to live together anymore, but can you be a big girl, put your big girl pants on and pay your part of the rent? What happened to where you're so terrified of that?
She's just a very mean and ugly person. I've confronted her about things in person before, and it got really ugly. So that's kind of why I'm scared.
Yeah, I get it.
So let me tell you this: Are you unsafe?
Just her words are super, super hurtful.
Okay, so there is a middle ground between no communication and the words you've used it a couple of times, which is to confront. The gap in between is just a conversation. Yeah. That can start instead of, hey, you haven't paid rent. What's been going on? Why'd you block me? Hey, are you okay? How are you? I haven't talked to you in a long time, and I miss talking to you. Are you okay? I care about you.
Yeah.
In one of those conversations, your body responds. It dumps adrenaline, cortisol into your bloodstream. You start uptaking glucose because your body's ready to fight somebody, and you don't have to get there. If you're not safe, if you think you're going to get hurt physically, don't show up there. When you took on a business arrangement with somebody, you took on that discomfort. You need to have that conversation. And if she says mean things, you can turn around and walk away in person and say, you're not going to talk to me that way. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then be on about your day.
Yeah. And here's the deal. John's absolutely right. And if you do all the things he tells you and she still comes at you hot, you can't fix that.
No.
She's trying to make this difficult for her own reasons, and maybe some of she doesn't even know why she's doing it. That's John's area. But I'll say this. I would stay very calm. I'd say, look, there are repercussions to this. I'm going to pay my part. You got to pay your part. Right. I'm not going to bother you ever again. I'm not trying to get in your business.
I hope you're okay.
I hope you're okay. I'm so sorry for anything that I've done. Just go real blanket here, really easy, and just go, hey, you need to do this thing. So I'm just trying to facilitate you. Let's get a clean, fresh start.
And if you've already moved out, then walk away. If you've moved out and you signed this lease and subleased it, then you owe that money.
Yeah.
You can sue her for it. You can go through all the drama, or you can learn a hard lesson.
Yeah.
And then you can move on about your day.
Yeah.
And again, you hear me and Ken, our voices change. Like, you can get amped up. Nobody makes good decisions when they're amped up. Calm is contagious. Coming in low as you possibly can and say, here's the reality of our situation, and let's move on with our day.
Yeah. Yeah. And John, let me ask you this, because from a professional standpoint, when she does that, she takes the power away from this gal. This gal's definitely made a power play. The nastiness and all that, whether she's hurting or not, it's a power play.
Yeah.
And it's working. I mean, Michelle's really, really hurt.
That's right. She's shaken up. I'm not going to give somebody that level of power over my life.
I agree.
I'm not going to let the guy driving next to me who is just cut me off. I'm not going to give him access to my blood pressure. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him access to being angry and yelling at my kids when I get home because I'm all amped up and fired up because someone didn't drive the way I wanted them to. I'm not going to give them that access to me. If they put me in a position where they want to fight me, I'm going to walk away because I'm a grown-up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to engage in that. That's just a waste of my time and energy. Yeah. And so I get to control what I'm bringing to the situation. And the only other option outside of that is I need to get something out of that house, and I am in danger of being physically harmed.
That's right.
Then I'm going to bring the police with me.
That's right. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just not going to give people access to me in that way.
And that's easier said than done. But we've got to detach ourselves in this situation. Michelle's got to detach herself from all the mean and hurtful things and realize she's playing me.
Yeah.
I don't have to know everything. I don't have to be a psychiatrist and figure it out. What I do know is she's playing me. Mm-hmm. She's been nasty. I can't fix that. I need her rent, or else I'm on the line. Mm-hmm. And that's the issue.
A lot of folks get engaged with somebody who's nasty. Whether it's a boss, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a roommate, and we spend a lot of energy wondering what it is about us that is invoking the nasty. What is it about me that is making you treat me this way? And that's a wrong way to approach a relationship issue. That's me thinking I'm deficient and I'm trying to get you to solve it. And the way to flip that on its head is to say, I'm a person of dignity. You're going to treat me with respect, and you're not going to talk to me in this way. And if you are yelling at me, that means you've got an issue, not me.
Because see, that's great.
Does that make sense? It's not my problem to solve for you.
It makes total sense, but I think that most of us screw that up.
Yeah. If you have a boss that's treating you like a jerk, the problem is with your boss. Now, if your boss calls you in and says, the work you turned in is garbage, it's not good, you need to up, then that's your problem to solve.
Yeah.
But if they yell at you, they belittle you, they act like it, that's their problem. And the decision from this point over is your choice to make, right?
Yeah, that's good. Boy, that's really good. And that's how you kind of take that attack and not let it sting so much.
And since this is the Ramsey Show, you know an awesome way to detach yourself is not owe anybody anything and have a fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah, and don't rely on a roommate if you don't have to.
I'm going to walk away.
That keeps it pretty clean,
have a great afternoon.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, folks, don't move. More of your phone calls coming up. He is John Deloney. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, where you get answers, where you get a clear path, where you get hope to move forward in your life. We're thrilled that you've joined us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague John Deloney. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Raleigh, North Carolina, where Trey joins us. Trey, how can we help? Hello, Trey. All right. We will put Trey on hold. Trey's like, I'm thinking about this question for a moment, and I'm too impatient. So now let's go to...
is Trey back?
Is Trey back? All right, we're going to try it again. Hello, Trey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, fantastic. How can we help?
Good. Need a little bit of help here.
We all do, man. We all do. What's up?
And I'm in the security industry, and I've managed to, get a great, city job, great benefits and pay. And after about 2 years, I realized that I'm in the wrong role. I'm not able to showcase my best skills. I've applied for those particular jobs and promotions, and wasn't selected for an interview, not even within my own department. But with it being a state, job and benefits, and the pay is higher here than other companies in my area for what I do. I'm 25 and I don't know what to do, but I'm not happy in this role.
Okay, well, let's start with that. You're not happy in this role, which, there could be a myriad of reasons, but let's focus on the big reason. Are you not happy in the role because of the environment, the people around you, maybe your leader, other things, there's not much opportunity there, or you're not happy in the role because you really, truly want to do something else? There's something missing in your work. What's the real driving force?
Yeah, I would say that there's some things going on in the environment, but I think for the role that I do, I'm more of a human-to-human interaction. I love helping people, and I'm just not able to, to do that, kind of just in one spot.
Trey, I know this is Ken's sweet spot, but a lot of security positions, especially with city, is got a lot to do with seniority. Is the fact that you're 25 and you've been doing this for a few months or a year or two, is that playing into these folks who are getting these promotions have just been there longer than you? Or have you got some feedback that says, I'm not good at this, you don't have the skill set yet?
One of them came in around the same time as me, and, we came in together. Okay. And they were, they kind of, got, were promoted and things like that. And, I pretty much give everything, well, not everything, but I give a lot, 110%, to the job. And
sure. Yeah.
Well, it's stressful.
But here's the deal. You don't have the juice. You like doing people-facing stuff. My guess is you're good at people skills, right? You love people. You like working with people. You good at people? What would you say to that?
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, then. So if you're doing that and you're not happy, I'm sure you've let your mind wander a little bit. Not wander, I mean wonder. What are you wondering about? What would you do? What would you try?
That's kind of where the hiccup comes.
Oh, I know. I deal with this all the time. But don't hiccup. Hiccup means you've had a thought or two, but then something derails you. I just want you to know, without any kind of fear of failure or anything else, what would you try tomorrow? I said try, not commit the rest of your life to. What would you try if you knew you couldn't fail? It was people-related work. What would you do?
Oh, man. I would help the youth.
You would help the youth. Now we're getting somewhere.
Help the youth.
Tell me what's going on? How would you help them? What would you be helping them with? A desire they have or a challenge they're facing?
I would say both. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people with being my age, and saying that I have a great head on my shoulders, and not into a lot of different things. I kind of think things through before I do them and look at it from all angles.
So let's get more specific.
A lot of people have come to me.
Good. So let's get more specific. I want you to tell me, when you said youth, you had a snapshot in your mind. It was a Polaroid. All right. Now I want you to tell me, What are the problems and challenges they're facing, the desires they have? Be super specific. Give me 30 seconds on that. Go.
Just not feeling as though, they can make it, out of their particular situation.
Okay, what situation? Is this poverty? Is it abuse, alcoholism in their home? Talk to me.
Yeah, I would say, poverty, or because they grew up a certain way, that there isn't a better way out there for them.
All right. Now, I want you to keep feeling your answer. You're doing a great job. I feel like we're in your heart here. We're not in your head. I don't want you in your head. Stay in your heart for a moment. Where are those kids at? Where are those kids hanging out in Raleigh, North Carolina? Who's serving them?
A lot of them are on the streets.
Yep.
A lot of them just are scared.
Yeah. Where are they, though? Are they in public schools in certain areas? Where are those kids? You've got a good snapshot of them. Are they hanging out at the YMCA? Are they hanging out with government programs? Talk to me. Where are they?
A lot of them, actually, I'm a big goer of the YMCA. You kind of hit that one right on the nail, right on the head.
Good. That was a total guess.
Yeah, a lot of them are there.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to move really quick. I want John to jump in too. But how much money do you make right now?
About $40,000.
Okay, $40,000. All right. Here's the exercise for you. Okay. And I didn't tell you you're going to do this. I said this is an exercise. I want you to have a homework assignment to look into how many jobs in the Raleigh, North Carolina area pay near $40,000. It could be 45, could be 38. I want you to just do the research. Where those kids are hanging out, who's serving those kids? So I look at the YMCA and I go, is the YMCA hiring? If they're not hiring, it doesn't matter. What are the positions at the YMCA and what do they pay? Because they may not be hiring now, but they may hire in 6 months. And I'm going to get over there and use the proximity principle. What government programs, local, municipality, county government, state government, maybe some federal funding, what nonprofits, Christian organizations are serving those kids? And what positions do they have and what do they pay? That's where you at least have to start. Are you tracking with me?
Yes, sir.
Because if I told you, Trey, that John could call somebody in Raleigh, North Carolina today, and you were going to be serving those kids, and you were going to make $40,000, how quickly would you say yes to that?
In no time, in the blink of an eye.
There you go.
So, Trey, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. Probably won't. May not happen in the next month or two. But can you get into this kind of work where you are loving on kids face to face, knee to knee, and pouring into kids that you've got some connection to? Is it possible, Trey, that you can make $40,000 or change your lifestyle to be able to do it and live comfortably on 35 if you were helping those kids? Can you do this, Trey?
Yes, I could.
Are you going to do it?
Yes, I am.
My man.
Ta-da. Ken, how many people do you see get trapped with, this is what I do? In his case, I work security.
Yep.
And then they try to cram who and what they love doing through that lens, instead of, as you just unbraided it for them. Really what you want to do is help kids.
Yeah.
And you can do that as a high school basketball coach. You can do that as in the YMCA.
Social worker in
as
public
a social
schools.
worker, as a counselor. You can do it 1,000 ways. Or one of the ways you can do it is being a police officer, working security. But take the lenses off and reverse engineer this thing.
Yeah. Well, it really comes down to who are the people you want to help.
Yeah.
What's the problem they have or the desire they have?
I had my
How do
head.
you solve it?
I wanted to help people with mental health, and I only was looking at it through colleges. And I'll never forget, Dave said, John, right now you help thousands. What if you want to help millions?
Yeah.
And it changed my picture. I'm doing the same thing,
100%.
just in a different context.
Different environment. It's always about who are the people I want to help? What's the problem they have that I want to solve? What's the solution to solve that problem that fires my soul up? Stop making it so specific. All right, don't move. More of your calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey Show continues as we take your calls about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague John Deloney. The number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. How many times in the past year have you heard someone say, I just wish things would get back to normal? But what was normal like for you? Were you worried about money? Too much to do, not enough time to do it? You shouldn't have to go back to that when there's so much better ahead for you. But to get the life you want, you need the right game plan. So, Ramsey Solutions got a free live stream event on September the 28th entitled Game Plan Live. Dave Ramsey, Christy Wright, George Camel will be laying out the clear plan to make all of your money goals happen, like how to find a vision that gets you excited, setting healthy boundaries that keep you focused. You can have the abundant, balanced, debt-free life you want, and it all starts at Game Plan Live. To register for this free live stream, text Game Plan to 33789. That's Game Plan, all one word, to 33789. All right, let's go to Ben in Chicago, who is on the line to do a debt-free scream. Ben, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Well, we're doing good, but you're doing great. So talk to us. How much debt did you pay off?
I paid off $45,177 in 15 months.
Wow.
Getting it, Ben. Way to go, man.
Come on, man. Now, what was your range of income during that time?
Started at $45,000 and got up to $63,000.
To 63?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What'd you do to get the bump?
I got a promotion, which helped with most of that, and then also I was doing some side work, repping some jiu-jitsu events.
Oh, nice. Reffing jiu-jitsu events. What? I'm just curious, what does that pay? Per event, or is it an hourly thing? How's that work?
It's per event, so it'll usually be in the range of like $175 to $250, depending on which event you're going to.
I love it. And what do you do for a living?
I work in marketing, so I'm a sales analyst for a children's book publisher.
Awesome. So I'm just curious, give me the quick version of what you did to get promoted.
Yeah, so I started there just more in like a general role, which was just kind of like as a sales assistant. And within that role, I was doing some side work. I was trying to figure out where there were some holes in the company where they could use some help with things. And I had a pretty good background in Excel, so I was building some reports for them, and they realized that I had a skill with that. So when a role opened up for an analyst job in the Amazon team, they're like, Ben did really well with this other stuff. I think he can help us here.
Nice.
Love it, man.
Now, John, that right there is maximizing your
That's
role.
it.
He's looking for other areas to add value to the company, and it led to a promotion.
He didn't sit there and whine and say, why am I not getting promoted? I'm not getting promoted. He looked for a hole, solved it.
And
just like Vanilla Ice, right? He checked out the hook while the DJ revolved it. Good for you, Ben.
Nice. I love anytime we can get Vanilla Ice in a show,
incredible.
our work is done here. Ben, that is so fantastic, man. Really proud of you. Okay, so tell us, what was the debt consisting of?
About $5,000 of the $45,000 was for a car loan, and the rest was student loans.
Okay, great.
Around $40,000.
All right. So what kind of car you got?
2017 Hyundai Elantra.
All right,
Attaboy.
all right. Come on now. All right, so 15 months ago, you're a young guy. What led to this debt-free journey for you? What was the catalytic moment or feeling or circumstance? What happened?
Yeah, so a little earlier than that, I was just getting an Audible subscription, and I saw Dave Ramsey's name come up a bunch. And I didn't buy any of his books then, but at least I recognized this guy seems to know what it's all about in the financial space. So he had a free podcast, started listening, made a lot of sense. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm actually going to go after this and do what he's talking about.
Awesome. And so how quickly into the 15-month journey did you go, oh, this is definitely working. I got some momentum. I can do this.
Right away, I had about $10,000 in savings. So just getting down to baby step one and seeing the car go away immediately was pretty nice.
Yeah.
You're a jiu-jitsu player. You are always thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead, right? And you know how to be uncomfortable to accomplish a goal. That's fantastic.
Which, incidentally, Ben, how long would it take you to wrap me up in a pretzel?
Not long, Ben. I'm just telling you right
now.
Ben,
you're not going to hurt my feelings. We know the answer. How quick? Is it like 20 seconds, 15?
No chance. 3 at the most.
3 seconds.
You're a good guy. I would have no reason to do that.
Oh, no. That's all. It wasn't about that. It was just how quickly can you do it. You're being very nice. Okay, Ben. So you got the jump start on the $10,000. You knocked the car out, so you really did get a big jump start. What would you say to somebody young who's dealing with just the kind of normal debt that you had? What would you tell them?
Yeah, it seems like it's not that big of a deal because you're just looking at it in terms of payments. But when you actually look at how much you're paying to interest, which you're basically getting nothing out of that, you got to see how much you're paying in interest, and it's going to make you mad, and you're going to want to pay as fast as you can so you can limit how much interest you're paying because you're really not getting anything in exchange for it.
So this is more of somebody's taking something from me issue, and I want what's mine back.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, he got a warrior mentality.
Yeah, he does.
There's no messing
All
around.
jiu-jitsu guys do. That's why jiu-jitsu is one of the greatest sports on planet Earth.
I know. I knew you were going to be very excited.
I love it.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, Ben, tell people what the key is. What's the key to finishing this journey?
Yeah, just staying focused and making sure that you have goals to set and things to keep you motivated. So it was nice when I had like the car loan I could pay off, and it's nice when you have the debt snowball. But since I had like a giant loan of like $40,000 and I couldn't really like complete a loan, I had to like put a little poster on my wall for every $1,000 and ask mine to cross off every time I crossed $1,000. So it just kept me motivated the whole way through.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Good for you, man. And how old are you, Ben?
30.
30 years old. My goodness. So you are on your way. We've got two things, two books we want to send you to celebrate you. One is Dave's book entitled The Legacy Journey, because that really is the next step for you as you become a baby steps millionaire, and you're just going to do some amazing things, young man, and create a legacy. So we're going to give that to you, and then we're going to give you a copy of Dave's book, Total Money Makeover, for you to give to somebody else that hopefully will kickstart their debt-free journey. So we want to do that for you. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right,
Ooh,
this is over
that
the
was
phone.
a jiu-jitsu reference there. Well done, Ken.
I didn't even know I made it. What did I say? You ready to roll?
Rolling is the vernacular for, hey, you want to go to the gym and roll? That's a jiu-jitsu reference. Ken is a ninja, everybody.
I am a ninja and didn't know it.
It's
It'll
incredible.
come to no surprise to anybody of that. All right. Well, you're a great young man, Ben. We're so proud of you. Here you go. Ben from Chicago, Illinois, paid off $45,000 in 15 months, making $45,000 to $63,000. Ben, this is your moment. Take it away. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free.
Boom. Woo! Quick, like a chop to the throat.
Dude, he got in there.
Yeah.
Rear naked choke. Fight's over. Match is over.
Yeah. No time to even tap out.
Takedown, armbar.
Yeah. He's
We're
not
done.
messing around.
Nope.
I love it.
Ben doesn't mess around at all.
What
Good.
a fantastic story, huh?
And whether it's $45,000 or $450,000, the plan is the same.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
Yeah.
Get after it.
Yeah. I love when we ask that question, everybody's got, their different spin on it. And I think you nailed it. For him, it was like, wait a second. I looked at that interest deal and he's like,
I'm paying that company?
Yeah, you nailed it.
What are we doing? Yeah. I don't want to pay them as a service to pay somebody else for me. I'm just going to cut out the middle, man. I'll do it myself.
It doesn't just speak to the crazy importance and value of figuring out your why, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you want to get an extra degree. If
I want my money. Yeah.
If you want to lose weight.
Yeah.
If you want to have more romance in your marriage. You better find that why, what's that driving force, and own it.
Yeah. And
because it's powerful.
I've not always. I've been wondering for the last year or two, as I've said on these, take these calls, what's so hard about getting to why? And I think if we allow ourselves to look in the mirror and answer that why question, there's no going back.
You're right.
And you
box
yourself into a corner when you see your child's face, or the one that hasn't been born yet, or that you've got personal dignity, you need to stand up for yourself, or you're married, or whatever the thing happens to be. If you sit down and you develop a picture for why, you can't go back. There is no going back. It's burn the ships. Or you got to look in the mirror every day and say, I'm choosing to
Isn't that the truth?
not love as deeply as I could. And we can't do that.
You nailed it.
Get a why.
It puts
and
you in a corner, because every day you don't do it, you go, yeah.
It's an affirmative choice to hurt those we love.
Good stuff. All right, don't go anywhere. More of your calls coming up on The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, John Deloney, and we are here for you, 888-825-5225. Today's scripture, Titus 2, 7-8, in everything, set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about us. Today's quote, from the 7th President of the United States, Tennessee boy, Andrew Jackson. One man with courage makes a majority. You know, John, I got to tell, I'm a history buff. Kelly Daniel, our associate producer, she's a big history buff as well. I got to tell this quick story about Andrew Jackson. So, Kelly, I don't know if you've heard this story, but the audience will love this. This isn't a boring history story.
I'm literally already asleep, but continue.
Well, that's because you're...
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Andrew Jackson, in his old age as president, was once approached by a man who tried to assassinate him in a group of people. This is in Washington, D.C. And the man pulled out a revolver. Think about how long ago this was. And click, it doesn't fire. He pulls out a second one and fires. It doesn't go off. By this point, Jackson now realizes, I can take this guy. He's an old man. And literally bum rushes the guy in front of the public with his cane and beats the man almost to death. So there's a little Andrew Jackson story. If you're going to fire at Andrew Jackson, I mean, he literally, in front, people had to pull him off of the guy. The guy's trying to assassinate the president. He just goes and just beat him. It was fascinating. So I picture somebody doing that to Dave. Can I be honest? I would see Dave doing that. If you tried to shoot Dave and you didn't get it, you know? You know, he wouldn't beat you. He'd just shoot you back.
Yeah, I think, he doesn't have a cane.
No cane. But I think that's a fantastic Andrew Jackson story. So
he was the president?
Yeah, at the time. He was an actual president when it happened. This is the old days, dude. It's the Wild West. You know what I mean? Someone could just walk up. There wasn't Secret Service. Yeah. So there you go. All right. I don't know if anybody's life is better for that, but I gave it to you, and there's a great story for your next cocktail party in Tennessee. It's a great connector for our financial coach. You come to Tennessee, you meet somebody from Tennessee, there's your icebreaker. You're welcome. Now
You're
they get it.
You're not going to believe this.
Now they get it. Yeah. Anna is up in Cleveland, Ohio. Anna, how can we help?
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
So I just finished, I just graduated from college in December, and I feel like I'm in a unique situation. I guess everybody does. I wasn't able to do an internship because of COVID. And then on top of that, I've been looking for a new job just to help pay the bills. And I left an abusive relationship earlier in May. And with how it ended, I had called the police, and because of the nature of my ex, he fabricated a police report against me that I came and beat him up, and I have all the evidence in the world that I wasn't there. I have a literal video of me at walking into a hotel, but so I'm trying to apply for new jobs with this degree and everything, but I'm really worried about how I'm going to be perceived with this charge on my record, because it's not who I am at all, and everybody who knows me would know that, but I can't prove that to a new employer, and so I'm just really not sure how to go about this, because it feels pretty defeating.
Yeah, it's heavy, and I hate that happened to you. I'm glad that you had the courage and the strength and support to leave that abusive relationship and get rid of that nonsense. You're worth more than that, and I'm glad you walked away. And unfortunately, we live in a world where anybody anytime can lob any accusation, any sort of anything against any of us. They can file a suit for any number of reasons, and we have to rely on the process and the people involved in that process. So most of the time, and I say 95, 99% of the time, a job is going to ask you, have you ever been convicted of? And your answer to that will be no, because anybody can file any sort of thing against anybody at any time. And you will truthfully and honestly answer, no, I haven't been convicted of anything. And if they happen to say, are you under investigation for anything? And you feel like having that conversation And you can say, I left an abusive relationship and it's currently in investigation right now. But everything is just fine.
Yeah. Anna, could you give us a quick update? Okay. John, I just want some 401. You keep going. But is the matter solved now, and he kind of put out and the police showed up to investigate because they have to? Is this thing still open investigation, or is it done?
It's still going through like pre-trial and trial.
Yeah, so it'll be an event. It'll be its own thing.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, and that stinks. My guess is depending. It probably won't make it out of. It probably won't even make it to trial.
I just tell you right now, if you've got video shows that you were not there, unless your lawyer is a complete buffoon and you can't show the judge that, I want to encourage your heart. John's right. That'll probably get thrown out. Yeah. What kind of job are you looking for?
I think really anything that pays more than what I'm doing right now. I just graduated with an urban planning and development degree, but I'd love to work with a nonprofit. Ideally, I have a couple ideas in mind. I would like to do stuff with community development and like housing. I'd like to be an appraiser, and then on the opposite end, be a florist. So,
cool.
I'm kind of.
So, how old are you? Do you mind me asking your age?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Okay. Very cool. So you've got this mix of things, and I think that right now, before you search for any of those, I want you to kind of take a little bit of time to get clear on this. Unless you're just in dire straits financially, are you in some kind of a hurry to get a different job than the one you have now, other than the fact that you just don't like it and it's a job?
Oh, I love my job, actually. And they're super supportive. I'm like Employee of the Year, and they're awesome. It's just,
it's just not the work you want to do long term.
It's more so it just doesn't pay. I only make like 25 to 30K a year, and it was the job that I just got when I moved to the area.
Okay, great. But here's the good news. The reason I asked that question, you answered it. You love it right now, so we don't have to be in a hurry. So when I hear planning and urban development, that's what you went to get your degree in. You had some interest there. We could at least say that, right? I don't know how much your heart's involved with that, but then we talk about florist, and then what was the other one?
I'd like to do appraising.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do.
Real estate.
I want you to, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a free copy of my book, The Proximity Principle, okay? And I want you to read it and do it. Now, here's the deal. It's for people who know what they want to do. They're just not quite sure the best way to get there. And you've got these multiple ideas, and it's going to work for you. And here's what I want you to do, okay? It's going to really hold you accountable. But I want you to go hang out with a florist or two. And I mean hang out. I mean like not just coffee or lunch. Say, could I shadow you for half a day? I'll actually help for free. I just want to get a sense. I want to get in here and get my hands dirty. And I want to feel what it's like. I want my heart to be able to register what it actually is like to be a florist. So you're going to get a lot of head knowledge, but you're going to get a lot of heart knowledge as well. And I want you to do the same thing with an appraiser. You got to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who appraisers, nobody wants to shadow them, trust me, right? So they'll do it. And I want you to sample this work. Do you understand what I'm saying? Before we start looking for anything else. And I think that will help you in this season with this whole court mess going on. Before we go looking for something, let's be pretty darn clear about what we're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And Anna, I want to tell you something, and listen to me real carefully, okay? When you roll out of an abusive relationship, everything about everybody is that they're scary and they're going to hurt you. Because somebody said he loved you and then he hurt you. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
The only way, and this is what makes abuse so evil, the only way to heal is through relationship with other people, which means you got to risk again. You got to trust again. So get a group of people around you, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 or 4 people. Get an attorney that you trust the judge to do the right thing, and lean back into relationship. You're worth it. I'm so proud of you for being brave. Now you got to go take the next steps.
Great stuff. Always good to be with you, pal.
Good to see you, man.
He's John Deloney. I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer and call screener, Jenna Sears, and you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Did you know you can listen to The Ramsey Show on your smart speaker? Just tell Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri to play The Ramsey Show podcast. Check out all Ramsey Network shows on your smart speaker today.